I wanna do art with you. I'll show you what to do. So sit down for a few, and I'll do art with you. Okay, we'll see if this works. Usually I film on my nicer quality camera, but today I'm using this one. I know I said I would post a video a long time ago to start my video log adventure. I'm trying to do video logs instead of a blog because I think it will be better. I made a video about why I'm making videos, and I will link it in the comment thing. Okay. So, I was going to make my first video about lines. I was going to do a 7-part series, which I'm still going to do, about line, color, value, texture, pattern, form, space. The 7 elements essentially, and kind of a beginner's guide to those things, and I'm still going to do that. But I have been experiencing life, and so I've been really stressed out and anxious and slightly depressed. So really I've been trying to keep myself healthy and apply to jobs and focus on my art. And I wanted to share with you how I do that, how I focus on my art, and how I keep myself going. Because I've experienced living with anxiety and depression a long time. So dealing with stress is something that I can coach myself through. But a lot of people don't know how to coach themselves. And so I'm giving a few pointers for those people who might need a little advice on, how to snap out of it sometimes, because it's hard to snap out of it sometimes. So my first pointer would be to get a sketchbook. You don't have to be a super professional artist to have a sketchbook. A sketchbook is essentially a visual journal. Think of it as if you are writing a daily diary entry, except you don't have to think of the words. You're just automatically drawing things in your sketchbook. So let me explain. So you don't have to feel pressured to buy a super big sketchbook like I do. I love these big sketchbooks. You can get them at AC Moore for like $5.88. That is the exact price that you can get them for. They're big sketchbooks. They're like 9x12 sketchbooks. It has like really nice quality paper for mixed media. It's really great. I like to gesso the pages, which is a primer. If you're not familiar with what gesso is, it's a white primer, acrylic-based paint, and it primes the page so you can paint on it with more than just dry media. You can also get a small, tiny sketchbook for if you carry around like a purse, if you carry around a small bag with you, and you don't have the space to carry a big sketchbook, then these small sketchbooks are great too. This is like a $4 sketchbook, and this has nice quality paper too. A lot of the times they'll have these little guys on sale for like $2.50. Yeah, so pick the size sketchbook you want, any kind of sketchbook. Just make sure that it's a plain page sketchbook. It's a blank page, and it's not the line. The lines are great for if you want to write, and if you're journaling with words, but if you're visually journaling, a blank page is really great. But use whatever you have access to. I've used composition notebooks for sketchbooks plenty of times. So something that I like to do is always keep my sketchbook on hand, because if I'm feeling overwhelmed, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling really sad and find myself kind of like in a pit, and if I catch myself just like sitting on the couch staring into space like with racing thoughts, I'll grab my sketchbook and my pencils. And something that really helps me is not worrying about what I'm drawing. So I'll just make shapes, just random shapes on the page, and then go from there. So in this, it's just a sketch, but it's just a sketch that I work on periodically. And see, like these open shapes, and like these open shapes, I just drew those first. I just drew open shapes first and went from there. And in something like this, with just pencils, just focus on line. I just started drawing lines. I didn't think about what I was putting in where. I wanted to draw circle lines to make spheres. So here I just made a bunch of spheres with just lines. After I was done drawing the spheres, I was like, okay, let's draw lines across the page. So I just drew lines across the page. I just went with what I automatically, instinctually was just like, I'm going to draw circles. I'm going to draw straight lines. I'm going to do a lot of dots. I'm going to color in some of these circles so they're really dark. I just went with what I was feeling. That was it. I didn't think about it. And, you know, you just build it up and just focus on what you're doing and making it look cool. And that's it. You don't have to really think about it. And by focusing just on those lines and the value, it kind of makes your brain stop with the racing thoughts. At least it helps me. Getting to the point where you can grab your sketchbook and pencils and just do something is a huge accomplishment. So I always gave myself props for being able to get out of the racing thoughts, get onto the page. Another thing I wanted to show you today was, okay, so before I go into showing you what it is, sometimes I experience these bursts of just like heavy emotions. So sometimes instead of processing things, like processing stress, I'll just get really angry and I won't know why at first until I sit with it for a bit. So when that happens, I've found that painting or drawing self-portraits, reflecting how I feel, is really, really helpful because not only does it snap you out of this like obsessive emotion that just keeps getting bigger and bigger, it kind of makes you laugh at yourself because if you time yourself for this project, so for this activity, so for this particular activity, I only gave myself 10 minutes and that includes time to mix the paint, to get the brushes ready, everything. Only 10 minutes. So you're quickly mixing paint. You're quickly getting brushes ready. You're quickly doing everything because you're quickly putting down on page through color and through shape how you're feeling. And so I was feeling really angry with this and I felt like really big and angry. So I picked red, I picked yellow, I picked orange, and I just drew myself and I quickly put fangs on myself and I just look kind of like ridiculous and it looks like, you know, like a child did it, but it's how I was feeling. I was feeling like the Hulk but red. After I was done, my partner walks over and laughs at it, and then that makes me laugh at it because it's like ridiculous looking and it's hilarious. And laughing at yourself, at least for me, laughing at myself snaps me out of it really quickly. Yeah, it's just life's not that serious sometimes. And if you're getting really angry irrationally for no reason, it's just like sometimes you just gotta laugh at yourself. And so this is my drawing that I did of a self-portrait of a time that I was feeling really angry. And it's ridiculous, and that's okay. It's your visual sketchbook. So if things look ridiculous and silly, it's totally fine because it's like you don't just go around showing everybody your journal that you're like writing things down in. It's the same thing with the sketchbook. You don't have to show anybody this thing. This is just for you. This is a coping mechanism for you. So yeah, I think that keeping a sketchbook, whether you are a professional artist or not, whether you are fabulous at drawing yet, whether you know what you're doing or not, keeping a sketchbook, I think, is healthy for everybody and everybody. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. As a third option for a sketchbook activity would be just simply drawing from observation. And you don't have to be super, super good yet because, everybody who their first instinct is to say, oh, I can't even draw a straight line. How am I going to draw what I see? It will help you get out of your brain for a minute. It doesn't matter if it looks exactly like what you're seeing. Everybody starts out drawing representationally and it being a little bit wonky. Like, everybody starts out that way. You got to start somewhere. And like I said, it's your sketchbook. Nobody else is going to be looking in it. So just draw what you're seeing. There was a time where I was on an airplane and I was feeling really claustrophobic because everybody says like super compact and there's germs and so many things for racing thoughts to focus on. So I pulled out my little baby sketchbook because I had it on my carry-on, and I pull out my pencils and I just draw things. I just focus on what I'm seeing and I just draw the inside of the airplane. It's kind of boring. It's not that exciting, but I just draw it. And it helped. It got me out of my head. I focused on it. When I got tired, I stopped. So there's no rules with sketchbooks, and that's the great thing. And that is one of the ways that I have been dealing with stress and anxiety, and hopefully that helps you all. And yeah, so I also made a survey, and the survey is about my next videos and what folks would like to learn about art or how they would like to see these videos progress. I would like to do a video every week, and post it on my website and my YouTube channel, which I recently just created. And hopefully, because it's an actual video, it will not only hold me accountable for working on my own work, but also putting out work for others to be involved in and participate in and creating community and all that good stuff. So yeah, like, subscribe, whatever else you're supposed to do. Really, I just like that you're here and you're watching it, and yay, everybody. Bye.